Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode here on the Insomnia Builders multiplayer server. Today is going to be another one of those episodes where I kind of did quite a bit off camera, so it's going to be kind of a recap episode, and then we will get into maybe some plans either for later in the episode or just in the future in general. So last time when we left off, we had been building this chicken farm, and I did go ahead and I AFK'd for a while. I built up some more eggs and got some more chickens. And so the two areas on either side are kind of the hatching pens, and they just kind of feed into this middle one. These are the guys that get hatched and then will eventually be cooked. It gets sent underneath the ground into the base. As you can see, I have switched over to chicken now. And looking down here, in this chest, we have a ton of cooked chicken and feathers as well. So it's definitely becoming the main source of food here at the moment. Also, there's quite a bit more to look at too. Let's go ahead and look at the stuff outside real quick and then we'll come back inside. I found these skeleton horses. They were just on the hill back behind the base, so I went ahead and put them over here. Have some saddles, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. Over here at the farm, honestly, I can't remember if I showed this on screen or not, but the potatoes and carrots are now separated, so they have their own farms. I've also got some pumpkins and some melons growing as well over here. And then this chest right here is just about full up of carrots and potatoes as well. The wheat's doing fine. I turned that into bread. And yeah, so, and then we also named this guy Alfred, just for the fun of it. And so yeah, we're going to go and look at some of the stuff inside of the base I've been working on. And so this is kind of a small base, as you kind of knew, as you were able to see. And it's still a work in progress, but down here on this floor I want it to be kind of modular, so I want it to kind of go off in all different directions. So right now there's all sorts of fish cooking up, and that's due in part to this AFK fish farm that I have built. Here, well, I say here 1.11, I think this design may have always worked, but it's very, very small. It only takes one piece of redstone, which is right here. Other than that, just takes some tripwire hooks, the string to connect them, and not really a whole lot more. It does take an iron door and a note block back behind. Basically, the way that this works is that when you've got your fishing rod, and it helps to have one that has mending, this one is pretty much maxed out in what it can have. But basically, you sit here, you aim at the very top part of the door, and you just hold the right click down, or what I do is I bind it to another key and just have that pressed down, and I can go AFK. Basically, if you right click on a note block, it doesn't cast out your line or bring it back in. The door will though. So whenever the tripwire hooks are sensing that your bobber is there, it'll keep the door open, and when your line catches something and the bobber sinks, that's when it knows to pull it back in. So it's actually really, really basic. And yeah, it's gotten a lot of stuff for me. And honestly, I need to probably expand the storage. Right now there's just 3 double chests. I hooked up a comparator and a redstone lamp to tell me when there are items sitting in the last chest right there. I did completely fill this up overnight last night, so I will need to expand that as well. And so I've gotten a bunch of saddles, which there were even more than that, but we expanded our shop, which we will go look at here shortly. Enchanted bows, there are just a ton of them in here. I haven't really put one together for myself yet, but I will here soon. And then some enchanted books, same thing here. There are even more over in the shop right now that we are selling. So we'll get around to that, and then some glass bottles, and then lastly, we've got our fishing rods, which the one that we use is the one here at the top side here. So, and then this is kind of a work in progress in terms of how it looks. I mean, that's kind of how the whole base is right now. But kind of coming off into this side, this room is going to be more of a storage room. These few chests in this room are not cutting it anymore. At first, I don't think they're really going to be sorted per se, but they will it basically will just be a bigger version of what we had there. So I think we'll still have the dump chest, and it's going to, and the way I have it worked out right now is it's going to come down. There's a little hole in the wall right next to the ladder, and it's going to go all the way around and come into the room here over the top. It's just going to drop the items into these chests. And there's going to be, these are regular chests that are down right now, and then I'm going to put trap chests down in between. So it's just going to be a solid wall of chests there. In the future, I can easily switch this over to being filtered out or whatever. And then I just kind of marked off this area. That's probably, I'm going to build a larger smelting area, because one furnace isn't going to do for much longer either. As you can see, because of that fish farm I've got, you know, we're backed up with a ton of fish. They're in the hopper, and they're in here as well. So, and, you know, before long, we'll also have to look at a different source of fuel, since the coal that we put in here frequently runs out as well. So, those are some changes so far. I guess we've got one more here behind this door, and that is it's a sugarcane farm, and it's really simple. It's just using the observer block. I've got one on each side, and so it's observing when basically the ones on the both corners grow up to being 3 tall. And I can never seem to be here when it actually fires off, but it does work because there is a chest right here. It won't show because I did empty it recently, but and if I wanted this to fire off more frequently, I could just put in more observer blocks there on the top. And so, like I said, it's detecting when that sugarcane grows to 3 tall, just in that square, or the one over there on that side. And so yeah, really simple. It doesn't take a ton of redstone. Oh, we witnessed it. And this obviously could use some work too, because as you can see, there are some sugarcane that does not get picked up, and so you do lose some sometimes. Which in this case we lost just about half, which is probably not acceptable. I think that I have a fix for it, but we will have to see. Like I said, I just kind of finished that up not too long ago, so and it's just something kind of basic just to get some sugar cane going, and that's because I want to start making fireworks for when we get an elytra, and then we can kind of fly around. I've already made 42 of them. And my bottleneck is really going to be with gunpowder, because I don't really have a consistent source of gunpowder at this point. So yeah, those are the things I've been working on here around the base. Like I said, it was a lot of AFK, or sorry, yeah, some of it was AFK, and then a lot of it was just kind of off screen. Obviously, I planted up some more trees around here. I moved them a little bit further away from the house because I was tired of skeletons and creepers and zombies basically camping out under trees so close to my base. So I kind of expanded that out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've been working on. We can go over here and kind of take a look at the shop real quick. And like I said, the shop is expanding out. It's basically a miscellaneous goods shop at the moment. I think my reasoning for that is that it doesn't help to have a specific store at this point, because honestly, we don't have that much stuff to sell, for one, and it takes quite a few resources even just to build a store at this point. And as you can see, even with my base, I don't frequently carry enough, materials on me to even complete a wall consistently. So that's kind of the reasoning for that. And so let's go ahead and we'll go here and see the shop real quick. Nothing too crazy, and it's pretty much all based on the goods that you saw back at the base. Of course, it's got to be raining right now. Luckily, in the desert, it doesn't seem to rain. So yeah, we just added a few more chests. There's still going to be more items coming in here soon. We still have the glass. We're doing 2 stacks for 1 diamond. Saddles we brought over. See, there's a bunch more here. Basically 2 diamonds for each one. We have I broke down the enchanted books into 2 categories. I just did assorted enchanting books, which basically just means that they are kind of the cheaper end ones that I didn't really care about. Premium are ones that I kind of pulled aside because they either had a better enchant or they caught my eye for whatever reason. I think I thought they were worth more. So these are 2 diamonds each. And some of these are actually relatively good. I just, you know, it's just kind of the buyer's luck if it's something that they want. And same thing over here. Some of these are maybe not the greatest, but whatever, I pull them aside anyway. Eventually, I may just make them all the same price, and that's probably where it's going to go. We have pufferfish over here as well. They're 2 diamonds per stack. I'm not really familiar with them, so it is what it is. And then name tags, I have them in here as 2 diamonds each. Especially since it's kind of early on, and the price of those may drop after a while because name tags do come up pretty frequently when you are fishing in the way that I have been. So, like I said, it's been working out pretty good so far. I've really only had that fish farm going for a little bit. We'll see if we can get it through here without getting killed anyway. And I made it. Cool. So that's kind of what I've been doing off camera. We'll definitely have some plans for the future. Some of them include doing some co-op deals. We have that mushroom biome that we are gonna probably start clearing out for a passive mob farm here soon. Another one would be a kind of an XP farm, a kind of a global XP farm that everybody could use. So that's also on the horizon. That one may be a little bit further out because that'll take more resources and more time, I think, than I have available here at the moment. And so, ooh, that was weird. The chickens disappeared for a moment. And, why isn't it going? My bed's bugged. I certainly hope I don't die. I will have to sort this out. We'll be back. Alright, so I managed to get out of that. And yeah, so I think that the last thing we're going to do today, today is going to be a shorter episode, but I think that we need to be thinking about some plans for the future. And seeing exactly what that means. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to craft up some signs. We've got some cobble here. And I think we should definitely come up with a kind of a to-do board, like stuff that we can do and goals that we can have for later on. And honestly, I don't really know where to put that, but maybe here would be fine. And hopefully we can actually meet some of these goals. I should have grabbed some dirt too to pillar. Let's grab some of that. So, I'm trying to think and do at the same time. It's not really working out for me today. Alright. Let's go ahead and put... Oh, I used all of them. Okay. Alright, let's go grab a couple more of these. I do like these walls, these cobble walls they have. Are kind of nice. But yeah, we need to have some goals. And I think that there's 2 things right off the bat that are kind of on my mind in terms of what we need. We have an extreme shortage of fuel. So for smelting stuff in the furnace. We have some coal right now, but ultimately we should move away from that and move towards something that is renewable. So when I think renewable fuel, I think of blaze rods. So I think that one of the things that we need to do is, well, let's make this the to-do board. And I think that the first one is going to be some kind of blaze. I mean, we want the blaze rods, so So we want a blaze rod farm. And the other thing is iron. So I think we need to find some way to do like an iron farm. And it doesn't have to be something huge. I think we could do something even pretty small just for our personal use for now. And if we do end up either helping out or somebody else makes a community one for the server at some point, then we can mooch off that. But those are two things right now that I know that we need. Now, when it comes to finding like a blaze spawner, I honestly haven't done really much exploring in the Nether. So I think, part of it is going to be exploring. That'll probably be done off camera or in a live stream, since I do want to start those back up here pretty soon. And then the iron farm, that's going to all depend on what we're capable of, what kind of resources do we have, and whatnot. But those are both things that I think we should do. Another one that we might want to do is some kind of like a tree or wood farm. And I mean, we do a halfway decent job. We have plenty of trees around us. We typically replant when we use. But I want something that's maybe a little bit faster, if not AFK related. So something that we can hop in this farm and just kind of set it and forget it. And really, that's how all of these should be. And I know there are designs for each and every one of them. And then the fourth one, I mean, before this last episode, I would have said food, but I think when it comes to food, we've got stuff to make bread, we've got stuff, to do carrots, we've got stuff to do potatoes. Golden carrots would be nice at some point, but that would require a gold farm, and I'm not quite there yet, so I'm not going to put that down as a need. We've got the chickens, so we got all sorts of chicken, and obviously the AFK fish farm provides us with basically unlimited amounts of fish, and I think we have almost a double chest worth of the cooked fish already. So food isn't really an issue anymore. So yeah, otherwise, I guess the other thing I'm going to put on here is what I talked about earlier, and that is that I talked about doing kind of a more industrial, like larger smelter type thing. Right now we just have the one furnace, but I'd like to do something that, and that kind of ties in with the blaze rod farm. So we do the blaze rod farm first, get our fuel, and then we can set up a larger smeltery. And so we could do more like industrial smeltery. And so I didn't place those very well, but basically we'd do that first, and then it could lead to that. And these other two are kind of unrelated. I would say that the iron farm is more important than the wood farm, but I'd say the importance is probably the top one, top left, top right. Then this comes basically immediately after this, so and then this is the least important because we do have access to wood. It's just a matter of how lazy or how active I want to be in terms of getting it. So that kind of explains where we're at. I think that we're at a point now in the server where we can survive the day-to-day things. I'm at the point where if I die and I lose my stuff, it's not the end of the world. So I mean, definitely have come a long way here in even just the last couple of days. And between episodes and whatnot, I will be streaming. Hopefully, again, starting soon. And otherwise, just doing some stuff off camera and getting ready for some of our bigger projects coming up. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and leave a comment down in the video down below. Otherwise, be on the lookout for some live streams coming up. Be on the lookout for some more collaborations coming up. Whether it be with Chinbat or some others. I know that there's going to be some other people joining the server here soon as well. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. And otherwise, we will catch everybody next time.